Boys and girls, it's your boy Young King Cookson here on a Thursday. I nearly said Tuesday. It's a Thursday, well and truly in quarantine lockdown mode, and I've dragged along a young compatriot from Perth, Mr. Josephine Andrew Cox drewz, for a Drewzy Thursday. Young Drewz, how you doing?
Yeah, good on that quarantine, obviously. Well, not quarantine, self-isolation. Pumping out content. I've actually come up with quite a few ideas in the old self-isolation, so keep an eye out.
Look out. As always, go sub to Drewzy. It's the first port of call on a Drewzy Thursday, but young Drewz, what have we got for today's Drewzy Thursday? Because IDs are running low with AFL season not commencing, but what are we doing? What are we talking about?
I thought, since there's only one round, why don't we just suck out the things that we learnt from that round to think about for the next 2 months while we don't have football. So 3 things both of us learnt from round 1. Yeah.
Awesome. I like it.
Off the league.
I like it a lot.
Yes.
Do you want to kick off proceedings with telling us the first thing that you learnt about round 1?
One thing I learnt about round 1, Cookson, is that St Kilda, they're all talk, no muscle. They're all hype.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel that.
And I think you could vouch for me more on this one, since you watched the full game and you thought Drewz didn't play very well and they still won. And St Kilda were meant to be a lock for the top 8 in most people's sort of predictions. So what do you think about that?
I think that's probably the shout of the decade, really. Saints obviously, like, bringing in Brad Hill, very quality, he's been not overhyped, he's been very hyped coming into the season. And I think he actually delivered. Like, he didn't, he might have had like 16 touches, maybe a few more. Maybe underselling him, but every time he got the ball, he was very good, and he really was the only guy that felt damaging for them. Like, a lot of their goals were coming from free kicks inside 50 as well. So yeah, the Saints were pretty ordinary, really. Like, the Roos barely played in the first half, and we were only down by like 4 or 5 goals. And yeah, the Saints, not happy times as a Saint fan.
Do you think they can still make the top 8?
Well, it depends. If it goes ahead at May 31st and they get their 17 games in, I do not see any way in hell that they're making the top 8. I think they're closer to a bottom 4 team than a top 8 team.
Wow.
From what I saw. I know it's only round 1, but that's all we've got to go off. So, like, what else am I supposed to say? You know what I mean? Like,
going off what we've seen, that's absolutely reasonable, Cookson. What did you learn from round 1?
The Giants, the Tigers, the Pies, and the Eagles are clearly the top 4 strongest teams in the competition.
They dealt with their business absolutely class, didn't they? They
played probably not even half as... Like, both... Collingwood probably upped their ante a bit more because they played a better competition, but the other 3 teams that are, I think it's... I don't think there's anyone that could argue that they're not the top 4 best teams in the comp. There's an argument for Hawthorn because they beat Brisbane, but still that game was pretty, like, on a knife's edge. Like, Hawthorn ended up winning by close to 30 points, so that's a good win against second on the ladder from last year. But I just think the way that Richmond, GWS, West Coast, and Collingwood went about their business, they were always in control of the game. And they didn't even go into 4th gear at any stage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They didn't even get out of 3rd sort of thing, eh?
Yeah, it was
dealt with what they had to do, and then they just sat back and saw their games out, really.
Legitimately. So I think that's obviously, long season, but we're going off this. We're in quarantine. There's no footy. We're going off round 1, and I think clearly those 4 teams are the strongest if you're going off round 1. So, What else did you learn, young Drewz?
Well, going off round 1, given just round 1, I think the Giants are a lock for the grand final again.
The grand final? Mad!
Just being in there, or obviously if they're in the grand final, they're in for a shout to win it. But I think they're a lock.
Are they the strongest team in the comp for you after round 1?
From the games I saw, I think so. I think the Cats scored 75 points or something like that, but they still managed to lose by... How much did they lose by? 38 or something like that?
30 points or something, because the Giants scored 105, I think.
It was comfortable. Every time Geelong sort of mounted a couple goals together, then the Giants would just set the margin back. That doesn't make sense.
No, they did. They put it. Yeah, they didn't really let it go more than a 4-goal lead at any stage. Yeah,
they had it under control. Toby Green, 4 goals. Jeremy Cameron, 3. just what you need.
Young Perryman.
Yeah, he had a blinder. And Hainslow just standard, got 9 marks, which is not bad at all, most in the game. So, and obviously Geelong were the minor premiers last year, and they just made them look like light work. So I think Giants are the best team in the comp.
What did the Giants do more? Because it looked like the Giants didn't go into fourth gear either. What did they do more, and what did they show you more than for you to comfortably put them above Collingwood, Richmond, and the Eagles?
I just didn't think Geelong were in the game for like the whole time. I just felt
and
like
were you taking into consideration that Geelong were the best team?
Yeah,
that's those other teams played against as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, fair.
That you took the words right out of my brain.
Yeah.
They had the best opposition, and they still made it look easy. Like Bulldogs are decent opposition, but who else had played? The Eagles played Melbourne. And what was the other one?
The Pies played the Bulldogs, who are a good opposition, and they beat them by like 50 odd.
Oh, and Tigers played Carlton. So
yeah.
GWS. Yeah, you get me. Giants are locked for the last day of September. Oh, it's not going to be September, but you get me.
Yeah. The last day of February next year. No. I feel that. I have no argument saying that the Giants are the best team in the comp. If I had to choose, I'd say Collingwood probably better, but I think both of them very, very fair call.
Yeah.
Another thing I learnt was that Reece Shaw is legitimate.
Yes, sir.
And not like, obviously North Melbourne's team and the way we play footy isn't as good as those top 4 teams we were talking about before. But the way that at halftime that game was going all wrong, and under a Brad Scott team over the last 10 years from North Melbourne, we don't change anything. We maybe grit our teeth in a little bit, but not much really changes.
Mm-hmm.
But Reece Shaw, I don't know, I saw an Instagram post from North Melbourne of the things he was saying to the players about, it's ours for the taking, and it's just more motivational sort of stuff and inspirational than Brad Scott ever delivered. He was more just angry. Reece Shaw was more, that wasn't good enough, but I know we're better. Be better. We can be better.
That's
I know, like, it's so positive talking, and it, like, makes the players, instead of the players going, oh, fuck, our coach has just told us how shit we are, it's going, oh, he believes in us. Let's do it for him. Like, he's a good bloke.
Yeah.
He's driving us. I just think he's got that leadership factor. And the fact that he played at such a high level for so long over his career, and I don't know, they all seem to get along with him. I just think, he's legitimate. I'm not sure about the full-on tactics, like if, he's Alistair Clarkson level or Brendan Bolton level of like tactics and stuff. But when it comes to a team that we're not the best team in the comp, talent-wise. I think the motivation and the leadership sort of levels is what more you
want to play for him.
Yeah, you want to play for him. And, I think if any after the last 10 years, if that was under Brad Scott, we would have lost that game. But the fact that Reece Shaw wheeled us on to win by 2 points when we were down by like 5 goals and have a massive third quarter. I think he's legit, really good coach, and someone you want to play for.
Do you think Reece Shaw's the man to take you to the premiership, or is he the man to take you to an elite side that's like sort of pushing the premiership, and then someone else sort of takes over and takes you to the next level? Do you think he can win a flag for the?
100%. 100%. I think he can. 100%.
Huge.
I think I'm really liking our assistant coaching team at the moment as well. We've got like Brent Harvey on board. Frito's there. North Melbourne legends, Brady Rawlings, who, he was up at West Coast with Adam Simpson doing some really good strategical work, and I think he was there a part of the premiership. So I don't know if, it doesn't, the head coach is, he's the focal point. He speaks really well, great leader, revs the boys up. It seems like the players love to play with him, which after the last 5 years of Brad Scott's contract, that was just evident that wasn't the case. And I think, depending whether Reece Shaw is, the strategical mastermind behind the game plan that's going to evidently win us a flag in, the next 5 years or whatever. I don't know, but I think he's the man to be at the helm.
And that's good.
I'm fully behind Reece Shaw, fully behind him. What else did you learn on the weekend?
This is a huge call. Huge call. I was going to say something about the Dockers and waffle on, but I'm keeping it real. The Dockers played shit. So what I'm going to say, Aaron Naughton, one season wonder.
Yeah, well, Yeah, he got dominated by Darcy Moore, didn't he?
He did. Is it Darcy Moore or is it Aaron Naughton? What do you think? Because he got 2 touches the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's just been figured out. Maybe, you know, he's done his bit. Everyone sort of cracked onto what makes him so dominant in the last season, and he's been shut down and gone. Just that's so shit.
No, well, how many athletic opponents did he play on last year? Like, people that could judge and read the flight of the ball as well as he can. Like, Darcy Moore, you know, he's played forward for the first few years of his career. Come in last year was, you know, he got injuries, probably stopped him from being an All-Australian.
Well, I remember when the Dogs played Freo last year, Joel Hamling shut down Naughton the whole game. I don't think he kicked a goal. So maybe athletic defenders are Aaron Naughton's kryptonite, maybe.
It's very tough as well in this stage that Naughton's had an absolute shocker after being, you know, one of the most pumped up players going into this season.
Exactly.
That he has to wait minimum of 12 weeks to show that he's more chopped than that. So
yeah. Well, he did have that knee injury as well, so that might have played a factor.
Well, it didn't look like he was even going to play. So
yeah, but going off what we saw on the weekend, that's not too promising as your key forward, really. Well, if you want to compete with the elites.
The elite key forwards of the game, even when they're getting dominated, like Buddy Franklin, he's had his fair share of duels against Rance where he's been dominated all game. But Buddy Franklin still imposes himself on the game, and the contests they're noticeable because Buddy's involved in the game and Rance just beats him. Whereas Naughton just seemed passive, and like anytime it was going inside 50, Naughton was nowhere near it and Darcy Moore was marking it. Like
he wasn't in the game at all. Like,
it wasn't even
had
like
no presence.
It didn't even seem like Darcy Moore had to put in an absolute shift like what Rance used to do back in the day with his epic battles of Buddy. I don't know. Buddy Franklin is one of the best key forwards of all time. And the fact that even when he's getting beaten, he's still involved heavily in the game, and you notice him. He might end up with his 5 touches and 1 point or something. It's like he's had a shocker, but he's still imposing on the game, and it takes the defender's absolute best to beat him. Whereas I feel like Darcy Moore just had an absolute day out. So Aaron Naughton is young, but I agree with you that development is it's still a lot of time to develop, but you want to see more signs that he's going to be involved in the game.
Yeah, he had huge expectations going into this season as well before he did his knee. From the season that he had last year. Didn't one of you boys have him for the Coleman in Doss's predictions? I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't me, but Dutchy might have.
So but that wasn't so far out there, you know. Like going off last season, he was huge. He had I think he has a lot of weight on him this season, and from the first round, he hasn't lived up to it. So we'll see how he goes in 12 weeks. But going off that, I think maybe not as good as people have made him up to be. Yeah,
I semi-agree with you, and I'm also at the same time sitting on the fence, and I'm not ready to write him off. But
I'm not writing him off as well. That's way too early to call.
But you got to pick out something. Is that 3 things from you?
It is 3 things for me.
The last thing that I learnt, well, we learnt many a thing, but the last thing that stood out to me, probably the most important thing of the weekend, especially with the 16-minute quarter games, it may sound obvious, but intensity wins games. And intensity is probably more important than you would think. Especially with the North Melbourne St Kilda games, Fremantle had 8 minutes of intense, hard-working football and nearly got the win. North Melbourne had about 10 give or take intense moments of football, and we got the win. Like Essendon weren't that great against Fremantle, but their intensity and effort was up there. It was up there from for 3.5 quarters. It was really, really strong. Like even when the game was just a bit of a slog and just a scrap, guys like Devon Smith, Jake Stringer, Townsend, Andy McGrath were still laying big hard tackles and not letting Fremantle feel comfortable in the game at all. Like Essendon with the ball didn't look comfortable at all, but the fact that they made Fremantle feel so uncomfortable with their intensity, I think was very important. Even with Richmond, Carlton. Richmond would bring the intensity for 5 minutes, get up by 3 goals, 5 goals, whatever. Carlton then would start to bring the intensity a little bit, but then Richmond just go, we're more intense. So I think the intensity and the effort, it sounds obvious, But that many times you'd watch Geelong teams in the past and Hawthorn teams in the past win when it doesn't even look like they're trying. And I think now with how even the competition is, intensity is important as ever. Like, you need 22 blokes out there trying their absolute guts out to, to beat the other team. Because, if your intensity's not up, other teams take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Hard work
I
beats
just think it
talent,
was,
Cookson.
Yeah, I just think it was so evident that the team that was trying harder was in front. Like, you know how you'd watch games in the past where Geelong would be just too good and there'd be a team that's trying their guts out, chasing arse, and they just can't keep it up?
Yeah.
I don't feel like any of that was on this weekend. I feel like the team that was intense was getting their rewards and just getting it done.
Yeah. I think that's a good point you make, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. It might sound stupid, but that's the way I felt about the weekend.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
There's 6 things that we've learned anyway, Cookson.
There you go. That is 6 things that me and young Drews have learned. That's a Drewsy Thursday. Drop a sub or I'll kiss your dad, I'll kiss your nan, I'll kiss your uncle. They're all getting a kiss if you don't drop a sub. Even if you do drop a sub, they're getting a kiss. But yeah, thank you very much. Sub to Drewsy. Bye, everyone.
See you later.